It is Thursday night. It's September 22nd, 2022. Another brand new episode of the Boiler Breakdown coming at you live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. Do all the above. I'm Tanner Lee, back this week. My two co-hosts did a great job holding the fort down last week. Evan Webb, Andrew Eiler. What's going on, fellas?
That was kind of my thought as well. I mean, I was like, oh man, I should go grab a beer. I don't want to talk about this game.
I'm still, we're 5 days removed, and I'm still frustrated.
Yeah, I thought it'd be all right. Like, by this point, like, if we recorded on Monday, it would have been bad. And I was like, I'll be fine by Thursday. And then I listened to the Bullet Sports podcast today on my drive home, and I was like, all right, I'm pissed again.
Tanner, if you had asked for Monday or Tuesday, I would have said no.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. I didn't want to talk about Monday on one of my other podcasts. I tried to delay it as much as I could. I joined 15 minutes late. That might have been by technical difficulties, but either way, it's just, we've seen heartbreak time and time again as Purdue fans, both football and basketball. But this was a new one. This was a new kind of heartbreak. This was one I'd never seen before, really. Purdue basically loses because of two unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what just makes it frustrating. I mean, we're sitting here. Purdue should be at least 2-1, could be 3-0, and they're 1-2.
I think you could argue it should be 3-0. I mean, really, as long as if we just control the clock in that Penn State game, ball game.
Yeah, I don't know about though that back to the Penn State, the controlling the clock because Purdue can't run the ball, so they have to throw it. But
I mean,
I think it was more the tackling. They don't give up that stupid touchdown at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think more like we were throwing vertical though, so like you could do some short little screens, some just like run it or pass to set up the run essentially, just to get the clock moving. But instead we're trying to throw vertically, and that was the issue with that game. But yeah, this game was just cluster,
32-29 was the final. Syracuse Orange approves the 3-0.
Their freaking noodle arm quarterback completes one pass in the fourth drive.
Made a lot of the national media, which a lot of them are Syracuse grads anyways, but made a lot of national media correct on the predictions because I was ticked all week. Every college football show I was watching on YouTube or every podcast I was listening to, everybody was picking Syracuse. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go out, make a statement, prove them wrong. Because we were the underdog by a point and a half going into the game and outplayed them and have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, when we went into halftime, up
9-6?
9-6. I thought it was 9-3.
9-3.
Oh, was it?
I thought 9-6. Yeah, we were up 6. And I was like, man, we dominated that first half. And we were only up 6. So it's kind of seems like, man, it's crazy that they could, we've dominated this game, and if they score a touchdown in an extra point, they're winning this game.
Which they did.
Which they did.
Yep.
Which is just like, that's what just, especially with the fact that, coming into the year, we were pretty confident with the offense. And like just the fact that we've had a couple of games, really Penn State in this game where we kind of struggled early with the offense and not really put up the points we were hoping to do, and just allowed we saw a lot with basketballs. If even if you're the better team or you play better, if you don't put them away early and you kind of let them hang around, like weird things happen. And we've seen that happen with the Penn State game and this game.
I know. I'm sure we'll talk about the refs because that was a big part of it. But a lot of that was self-inflicted too. I mean, but still, like you said, they kept them in it so that some of those calls that did not go Purdue's way impacted the game when they didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. So I was busy Saturday moving, so the only consistent portion I got to watch the game was like the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. Other than that, it was bits and pieces, and it was a lot on the radio, to be honest. I didn't see it, but from the radio call and everybody's reaction on Twitter, it must have been horrific. How bad was Jack Sullivan's late hit out of bounds?
It was horrible. It was dumb. Oh my! It was so. Right, let's see. I think Brown got hurt on that play, almost because of Sullivan. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if he came back in or not. I don't remember if I think he played after, but he pulled up.
Yeah,
someone else pulled up.
Yeah,
and then Sullivan comes flying in and hits him.
No question.
So that was third down, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was third and 10. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 10. It would have been like 4th and 6 probably at best for them. Like you could tell, like even just like before the play even ended, like the quarterback had given up and he was running out. So I was already like celebrating, like, all right, nice stop. And then he comes in. I was just like, I said a lot of horrible words towards Jack. I was home alone, and I was just like, that was so dumb.
Well,
like,
5th-year senior too. Like you can't have that.
And I wonder, like with stuff like that in the Payne Durham, which I think was the softest penalty, sports iconic penalty I've seen in a long time. I don't know if plays like that were just like a culmination of just frustration, because Syracuse was chirping the entire game,
baiting Purdue right into it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was just like a, but again, like 5th-year senior, you gotta have a good head on your shoulders. But because then they scored after that, and it was we almost got a pick. I think we did get a pick in the end zone.
OC Brothers.
Yeah, and then we had a penalty that negated it, which was kind of the storyline of the game. Was Purdue forces a turnover, and it's either a penalty or it gets reversed. Well, I'm not sure how a call gets reversed, like when a quarterback somehow throws the ball from his armpit.
For what, like a 4-minute review, too?
Yeah.
Well, O'Connell's was called intentional grounding, which then it should have been intentional grounding, right?
It wasn't even his. It was a.
Oh, you're right.
Play. It was a trick play. It was Rice. I could probably
Sheffield. Was it Sheffield?
Maybe Sheffield. Yeah, I don't remember. Which is crazy. So
yeah, that's right.
I don't know, but then it was just like
they're gonna do the trickery. They gotta have Paul Peferi back there throwing.
Right. Yeah, but it was just like that Sullivan's play. As soon as it happened, I was like, "Gosh, dang it!" Like that's the kind of stuff that I get you, because then they score, and then I believe, and then we throw the pick six.
I think it was
when that happened. I was like,
I went outside and was mowing the yard after the pick six. I think I was like out the door, and I heard it. I'm like, yep, thank gosh, I'm going outside.
Yep. When the pick six happened, I stood up and said, "That's ball game." But then Charlie Jones, Chuck Sizzle, Aiden finds him for a long one, and then defense does their job. We get the ball back, go down, and set up Mitchell Finner in for a 41-yard attempt to tie. Then he misses. Then I said, okay, now it really is ball game. Little did I know the defense did their job, 3 and out, used timeouts. Aiden led a beautiful drive, hits Payne Durham with 51 seconds left for the go-ahead touchdown. I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to steal one we didn't really deserve. And then Payne gets hit with a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the extra point for jawing, which he got pushed first. I don't know what he said, but they both were just jawing. And
Payne was starting to retreat. That was the thing. It was just I don't know. The fact that
it's always the one who retaliates is the one.
But just the fact that the Syracuse guys were doing it all game, and there was no if they had just done hey, warning, knock it off sort of thing, then I could understand. Which I don't. They never said they did, but who knows, they would have. But it's just hadn't they done that, I'd be okay, that's something. But just the fact that those guys were jawing the entire game. And
then the coach. Did we ever know what coach got the other one? That right there. It was 2.
I think it was Braum.
Yeah.
For what was it? Just for being on the field, basically? I don't.
So the way he described, I think from his press conference, he basically said he was waving an official, I think the head official, to come talk and explain it to him. There was no play going on, so it was in between, what the extra point and the kickoff, and supposedly another official probably saw Braum, however many yards he was on the field, throw a flag. Because when he was in reality, he was just trying to get an explanation, and it was just
But really, in the moment, he probably went running out there pretty aggressively.
Even when the camera showed him, I didn't think he didn't look all that mad. Granted, this is before the flag. I don't really know, but Braum was talking to official, he didn't look like he was. I think he was almost what did he say, sort of thing, just to get an explanation. He didn't look like he was trying to bite the guy's head off. And
it was an official way in the end zone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was he wasn't even there.
It wasn't even the one that was close to him. Yeah,
and that's just what boggles. That's just what drives me nuts is the fact that in a close game like this, officials just inserting themselves into the game.
Well, and why didn't the other official that was talking to Braum turn around and be like, no,
it's just
pick it up.
Drives me nuts is I get, the pain I can understand, that kind of stuff. There's guys, but it's just when it's just, you're going to make that call in that instance where now the team is kicking off from their 10-yard line or whatever it was. It just makes me so mad when officials, are just so, liberal with how they make their calls. Just it's as if it's nothing. It's you haven't called that all game sort of thing. It's just you're going to call it now. That's just what drives me nuts. Is just we see it in basketball all the time of games being officiated differently half to half, and on different ends of the floor. It's just that's what was driving me nuts, was just the fact that it's like, and what also this goes to a bigger discussion of, post game, seeing people, there was like two groups of people in the fan base that was like, Purdue blew that, hey, we had our chances. You can't blame officials. Purdue blew their chances, and they like people saying like, no, we got screwed by the officials. The game was.
Which was both.
It's both. But it's like it's people act like it can't, like it's one or the other. It's either it's a, I'm blanking on the term, but like it's either one or the other. When in reality, it's a little bit of both. I mean, yes, Purdue absolutely beat themselves, and shouldn't have been in a position to let the officials affect the game that way. But also at the same time, you can't argue that Purdue did what they needed to do to win, and then all of a sudden all these calls go against them in a crucial point of the game that eventually kind of cost them. And then going back to some of the pass interference calls, the pass interference call with, I think on Trice, when at the same time we had two defensive linemen being tackled to the ground in front of an official and no call whatsoever, that would have at least negated, at least redo the down at that point. Like that stuff is, and the whole, in the first half.
That was on third down too. I think that was on 3rd and 10. Yeah.
Something
Which
like that,
obviously they would have gone for it, but still,
right.
Probably would have been a pass interference the next play anyway. But.
Yeah, and they were in the first Reese Taylor pick that was called back on a pass interference call when the ball was horribly underthrown. That our defender was playing the receiver, and it's like, I think it's just that kind of call. I think is just so BS for how they can call that when
or the in the last pass interference that set up
over his head.
It's 3 yards out of bounds, and like they did. That was the latest flag. It was
I think he couldn't get out of his belt.
Because you could tell he was trying to pull it out.
Yeah.
But then also,
it sure looked bad because the receiver all of a sudden grabbed her shoulder, hurt, and he's like, "Okay, now I'm going to throw it." That's what it sure looked like.
And Boiled Sports pointed out, did it on his post game and their most recent one. But like the play before that, I think was when they caught it on the sideline. Yeah. And the official points to the ground, like, "Oh yeah, he caught it."
Oh yeah.
Replay. It's like his foot was half out of bounds. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you pointing to? It was
the most standard heel on the line out of bounds.
It's like I think it was just the whole thing. Like, oh, we have replay, so I'm just gonna call it in, just so there's gonna be an incompletion until proven wrong. But it's like it was. Like as soon as the replay came up, I was like, "What the hell was he looking at?"
But I still can't believe Purdue got that call. I was waiting for him to call it in bounds.
It's like, his toe hit first.
Yeah.
It was very clearly. I didn't know the rule. I guess obviously.
I don't know if ESPN is just pissy that the Big Ten didn't take their meeting, but those. Tanner, you're lucky you didn't watch the game because man, that broadcast was not only was it's the same for a lot of ESPN broadcasts, but the announcers were horrible, but the camera angle was god awful. I've seen better angles at a high school football game.
Yeah, it was a frustrating one, that's for sure. Have to wait for a year to get revenge on them when they come to Ross State next year, but
which speaking of that, next year's schedule is tough.
Yeah, it's a good home schedule from a attendance standpoint, but
doesn't it? The Purdue ends 3 or 4 games in a row on the road or something. Is that right?
We'll play
next year's schedule. I thought I saw it was at Iowa, at Nebraska, or something. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't in order.
Yeah. I
think one of you sent it.
Yeah, we will play at Iowa. I think we should get Nebraska at home because we play at Nebraska this year. Or am I getting that wrong?
I don't remember who it was. I thought when you posted, one of you guys sent it. It was. Oh, because it's the tweet says it must not be in order.
No.
It ends with at Iowa, at Northwestern, at Nebraska, at Michigan. Obviously, that's not in order.
I think it's just saying what their home and away games are.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this order was. I read that and I was like, oh my god! And the 4 weeks in a row on the road, what the hell?
It's crazy to think that'll be Purdue's first trip to Ann Arbor since 2011.
It's wild. This was my freshman year of college.
I know. It's just that's the one team we just hardly ever play. We were supposed to play them in 2020.
And of course, we play them the same year we play Ohio State, so I guess I get a taste what it's like.
Which you pointed out the last time Purdue played, didn't they? Was that 12 when they beat both? No, when did they? With Terrell Pryor, they beat both Purdue. Purdue beat Ohio State and Michigan.
That was 09.
09.
Yeah. Didn't even make a bowl at 5-7.
12, we should have beat Ohio State.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Oh, that wasn't on. We beat. No, that was 09. Yeah. We went up at the.
Yeah, it was Terrell Pryor. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. So.
Well, not Ohio State. I don't remember Michigan team. Was that shoe? Was that
That was Brady Hoke.
Yeah.
In 09, but oh god, I think that's when they had that's when they had like two quarterbacks. That was before Denard Robinson came in.
That's what I was thinking, Denard Robinson.
I think that's when they had like, oh gosh, I can picture him in my mind, but yeah.
Our good friend Adam Bartels, he corrected us. The only games that are set for next year are the first three games, which is September 2nd, home against Fresno State, September 9th at Virginia Tech. That'll be sweet. And then September 16th, home against the Orange.
Tate Forcier. Adam Bartels just texted us Tate Forcier.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember he was the first quarterback I can remember that would smack his hands.
Oh,
and he was so annoying. He would always smack his hands. Now a lot of quarterbacks will do it, but I'm like, stop. But, yeah. So, yeah, that'll be a fun matchup next year. But, so Purdue's, like we said, 1-2 after 3 weeks. Pretty disappointing start, but season's not lost yet. Nobody wants to win the West, it looks like. Maybe Minnesota. But I think they'll go down this weekend at Sparty, but we'll see.
So, what was as much as I don't want to talk about the game anymore, what was some of the get rid of the negative? What was some of the positives you guys saw?
Payne Durham.
Absolutely.
What about party? Also, Purdue. What was the Syracuse talking up Tucker as a Heisman dark horse?
Yeah.
With 18 carries, 40 yards, or something.
Yeah, it's like Kenneth Walker last year when he came into Ross State and we shut him down.
Yep.
For Kenneth Walker's stats, anyways. But
yeah.
That's what worried me. Because I was like, man, if we so we were stopping them at first, and I was like, I just hope that we can. I was just because they now just kept saying all it takes is one bust. And I was like, please do not. I was just envisioning like a fourth quarter, Purdue's up 4, and then like a bust a 75-yarder for a touchdown, but it never happened. I mean, they kept getting told. What was frustrating, I think, is when we really missed Jalen Graham was just how much Noodle Arm was able to.
I thought you said you wanted to be positive here.
I know.
2 minutes ago, you're like, let's say some positive. But no, it was really frustrating.
Yeah, I thought Payne Durham. Aiden O'Connell's just a stud. I mean, he's got to be in the NFL next year. I mean, somebody's got to take a chance on a 24-year-old quarterback. I mean, Brandon Whedon was like 100 when the Browns took a chance on him. I loved how Aiden, even though Purdue ended up losing, he had his break it but fix it moment. Yep. He's just good. I think at times he relies and looks too much to Charlie Jones.
As he did with David Bell.
As he did, and not so much Rondell because he didn't really play with Rondell too much. But and then Charlie Jones, what can you say about the guy that hasn't already been said through 3 weeks?
I was really worried he was seriously hurt because I don't know if they ever said what it was. I don't know if he just came down on the ball and just like hurt his ribs because it was bothering him for a long time. But
you texted. Did you say he went into the locker room?
He went to the locker room. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like right in the first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he had that long pass. I was like, thank God, because we needed something at that point. But I don't understand what Brian and Kirk Ferentz saw in him or didn't see in him. Which I didn't realize that he played. Was it Buffalo before Iowa? I didn't really. Because I saw he was like tagged on Instagram or something. So Facebook or his Instagram profile was kind of see, and I forgot he was at Buffalo. And also, it was hilarious because he didn't post a whole lot, but he did make a post about coming back to Iowa for his last year, and that was the last thing about Iowa.
We'll keep them coming. We'll take them.
Absolutely. I mean, it was nice to see Tyrone Tracy get involved more in the offense and kind of the run game, which is what we needed. Yeah,
we just can't run the ball.
Yeah. He did throw. AOC did throw it around a little bit. We did get some other guys involved. Somebody like Rice, he's just, I think he and AOC are just not in sync. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a little frustrating.
I don't think Rice has practiced much for like 4 years. Just because he's never healthy.
Right.
I know. I'm rooting for that kid so hard because I like what he does when he plays, but and then I think Burks, he's showing flashes. Yep. But Purdue needs somebody to step up as a number 2 wide receiver because unfortunately I just don't think Brock Thompson's going to be healthy enough.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that the defensive backs played pretty well. All things considered. I think the last play, you can't really – I don't understand the play call in the last play for us where we didn't have – typically we say we don't want to, play prevent defense because all it does prevent you from winning. But I think that's the one time when having a deep safety might actually have helped us there because we kind of just left, not our best corner on the island. Yeah. But I thought the guys – played pretty decently. I thought Trice played well. Didn't get the rush that we thought, but it's kind of been the story of the year so far.
Yeah, kind of lacking pass rush and lacking a rushing offense. So, is Kindaru a go Saturday, or do we know yet?
I have not.
I haven't heard anything about him practicing or not. I know Thompson. They said unlikely, probably, but I think at this point, I don't know what the spread is or what. I don't know anything about Florida Atlantic, but I'd almost say like sit him.
Spread's 20 as of yesterday.
It's gone up. Okay, it was like 16, 18.
I'd almost say like sit Rice, even like sit Doru, let him get healthy and come back in October and
which is
maybe,
only two.
Yeah.
I'm looking at multiple game time decisions on injured players like King Daru and Brock Thompson. That was from the Thursday practice notes on Gold and Black. So, but I mean, is it Maccabee? Am I pronouncing his name right? The walk-on right back. Maccabee. He's been a nice little kind of, needs something. And kind of like almost that Xander Horvath role, which he's kind of been already compared to already. But if we've seen,
I think he's a little different player. I think he's a little smaller.
yeah. He still needs to work on his burst a little bit.
But Florida Atlantic coming into town tomorrow night, Saturday night for homecoming. Purdue's 100th homecoming, first ever night game for a homecoming game. Interesting that's not a Big Ten opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems early.
Yeah, it does seem early, but when you only have one game in October, one home game, I guess you just get out of the way. Big Ten Network wearing some cool helmets, some Purdue Pete inspired helmets. Purdue Pete, the old Purdue Pete logo on one side, numbers on the other. Black jerseys. I'm not sure what pants. I couldn't tell from the Twitter video today. Could not tell what pants. Either black or gold. We know that much. Probably black. They'll probably go black on black for third straight home game. Florida Atlantic's coached by Willie Taggart, who's kind of been all over the place. I've had some success early on in his career, but then he's been at Florida State and Oregon where he didn't do so hot at either stop, and so now he's back at a lower level college. They're 2-2. They got shellacked by UCF 40-14 last weekend. And they lost by 3 points earlier this year to Ohio. They're a run first and run second offense. So, yeah.
Did I read that their quarterback's thrown for like almost as many yards as AOC,
he's got 987 yards. I don't know what you're talking about, Tanner. O'Connell's only got 1,000.
Well, that tells you how much I look at the stats, and I was reading the scouting report and it said they run first, run second. I'm not going back to that website ever again.
I was going to say, O'Connell, you think O'Connell throws the ball a lot? I mean, I don't know, and Perry, I don't know. He's thrown 123 times, O'Connell's 134 times.
Maybe they want to be a run first, run second, but when they're down 100, they have to throw. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup. Ross 8, I think a good crowd's expected to be in attendance. So,
I always worry with I was worried after the Penn State game how the crowd at Indiana State would be just because it's a tough loss, but then also you've got an FCS opponent coming in and they go out. So, but I'm hoping this was a really tough loss, and the fact that it's homecoming should definitely bring in some people. So hopefully it's a good crowd. It's people just like night games. So
right.
I do have a correction here. Florida Atlantic has played 4 games to Purdue's 3.
Yes.
Okay.
They beat Charlotte, and I don't remember the other team they beat.
Southeast Louisiana.
There you go.
Adam Bartel says we're in gold pants.
Oh, good.
I'm disappointed with black pants.
So switch it up a little bit.
Nah. You're back to State's uniforms.
I like the new alternate helmet for 1 week. So.
Some people don't. But
I know.
So
I wasn't so sure at first, but now the more I see it, I like it.
Yeah, I mean it's a one-off.
Yep.
Who cares?
Right. Just
as long as it wins.
Just get the win and do it in dominating fashion. Don't leave any doubt. Get your confidence back, because if you get the win, you're 2-2, and then you got kind of your arch nemesis coming up next week, a noon game up in Minneapolis. Which, if you want to win the West, you have to have that one. So.
Yeah, it stinks that Purdue's coming out of these first 3 games 1-2, but really they haven't hurt themselves. They haven't lost anybody in the West. Still, the stupid penalties. theoretically are easily fixed. I mean, those last two in the game's a little different there with if Durham walks away. Yes, that's easier said than done. And then also no penalty on a coach, then Purdue probably beats Syracuse, and it's totally different right now.
Because I don't think Syracuse goes 80 yards.
No. They hadn't all.
Now with another couple pass interference calls, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not after these, going 1 and 2. I'm really still not worried yet, just because this stuff is so fixable. And now if it was like, AOC just can't complete a pass, or he's throwing 50% completion rate the first 3 games, that'd be a little worried.
Or the defense got shredded by Syracuse or something, and they really didn't.
No,
32 points with a pick 6 and then the 7 at the end with a bust and penalty 8 when they only scored when they went 25 yards.
I mean, this is what a Jeff Brom offense should want out of a defense. Just get enough stops on defense to where you give the offense a chance to go score points, and just kind of what we saw last year too, especially early in the year where the offense just isn't repaying the defense. I mean, defense gave up 3 points in the first half. We should have been up 21-3 probably. Because we had that fumble that we would have gotten probably at least 3 points that was called back.
And then they went for it on 4th and 3.
Which I didn't have a problem with. Just in
do or don't.
I didn't have a problem with it at all. I like the aggression. I think it kind of set the tone. I get the whole take the points, you're on the road thing.
So what my brother and I were talking about was he thinks that we rushed up there to get it, so they didn't have time to review it or have Syracuse challenge it. And then I know Brom even said he thought it was 4th and a long 1, and it ended up being 4th and 3. I wasn't paying that much attention. I know a lot of people also complaining about the refs said that Purdue got hosed on some spots as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was one or not. I wasn't paying that close attention, I guess, to see. I did maybe a couple times. I was like, that's a bad spot, but
but I think we're really close. And
I do too.
That's why it's just I'm not worried yet. Now, if we struggle on Saturday, then I'll change my tune a little bit. But yes, these 2 losses suck. They were there. Obviously, it makes it very tough to get Tanner's prediction of 10 wins now because we have to win out at this point. But
or just win the West. That's fine.
That's the thing. If we want to get to Indy, we have to take care of take care of the teams that are supposed to be, but then also, hopefully, probably at least split Minnesota and Wisconsin. Hope they trip up somewhere. Playing in one of the East Division teams because they're probably going to lose to a West Division team because the West absolutely sucks this year. But I'm not too worried. I think we can. The offense is doing pretty well. We just got to shore up some things, and just the penalties are. You hope that you can get those. Kind of knocked out because this is. We're a team that was average 4 or 5 penalties a game last year versus now we're getting 8 or 9.
Friend of the podcast, Thad Mooney on Facebook says, "Run the table to 10-2."
I'm down with it.
I like the optimism. I still think we're a good football team. I think we're very close. That's what makes it really frustrating.
Yeah, I know it makes it more frustrating. Is the fact that just these 2 games were it's so easy to be this one play happened, which it's obviously the games played different, had a different outcome happen for a certain play, but it's just 1 or 2 things, at least 2 losses, and it's probably a different outcome, which makes it even more frustrating. It's not now if we got just blown out, okay, we need to readjust or reevaluate our expectations. But it's just we beat ourselves, which is kind of we saw a lot in basketball seasons. A lot of those games, it was we had the chance to pull away and we didn't. And again, when you don't pull away, and especially on the road, you're just a semi-competent team. They're going to make you pay for it, and that's what Penn State did, and that's what Syracuse did.
Yep. Well said. Seriously, well said. You want to pick some games?
Let's do
it. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors, a sponsor that's been with us a couple years now. That's Mad Mushroom Pizza. Let me bring up their beautiful logo here. And let me bring up their pizza of the month in September, which is Josh's Tasty Meatballs. Josh's Tasty Meatballs is their traditional pizza sauce topped with meatballs, onions, banana peppers, mozzarella cheese, and finished with a hot sauce drizzle. Of course, it's served with a side of ranch. That's starting only at $14. So you can get yourself 2 of those, or you can get yourself 1 of those and their amazing, famous cheese sticks, which Mad Mushroom is the home of the original cheese stick. You can get those. You'd be over $20. You can tell them, if you're in person, that Boiler Breakdown sent you. Or if you're ordering online, you can use discount code BREAK5. That's all capitals, BREAK5, to claim your discount, which is $5 off any order over $20. Like I said, Mad Mushroom's been serving Boilermakers since 1993. They're located in the heart of West Lafayette, and they're known as the home of the original cheese stick. So go in there, have a nice ice-cold beer before the game, after the game Saturday. Go multiple times. Don't care what you do. When you go, have some of Josh's tasty meatballs. Tell him the Boiler Breakdown sent you, and get $5 off any order over $20. That's online at madmush.com. Mad Mushroom, feed your head.
Mad Mush had a tweet during the game. I didn't even find it. It cracked me up. It was something along the lines of, I'm trying to find it, but it may take me a minute, of like, someone get this game some cheese sticks because it's drunk.
Well said. It was a wild game. It was a game I definitely thought we'd see fireworks, and we saw fireworks, but it wasn't really a high-scoring fireworks. It was just wacky stuff. Yeah, wacky stuff happening at the end of the game.
I can confirm. The tweet was, we need to get this game some cheese sticks because this game is drunk, man.
Yes.
I laughed a lot.
Right now, there is a Big Ten game in progress right now. Illinois Fighting Illini is defeating Chattanooga 6-0 with 12:13 left in the first, and Illinois got it first and goal at the 8-yard line.
I believe this is a rematch of the first round of the NCAA tournament from last year.
Yes, Chattanooga should have had them.
Should have had them.
Should have, would have, could have. Got some action going on against the Big Ten this weekend. The Central Michigan Chippewas head into Happy Valley to face the number 14 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. The Lions are a 28-point favorite.
I think they kind of continue their dominance from last week, which I'm kind of now eating crow. It's still early, but after the first game, I was like, this Penn State team's not very good, and they made me look really stupid on Saturday because they first Big Ten team to go into whatever Auburn State,
Jordan Hare,
and just absolutely slaughtered them.
Which a lot of people say it's the loudest stadium in the country. So, they smacked them around. I mean, Auburn's coach is probably on the hottest of hot seats around the nation. So. Yeah, I agree. I think they covered a 28-point spread. What say you, Andrew?
Yeah, I think they went pretty handily and covered that.
Got some other. We got some Big Ten matchups this week, which is nice to see. Maryland at number 4 Michigan. Michigan's a 17-point favorite at the Big House.
It's what Michigan's first legit opponent that they've played so far this season.
They're not conference. Hawaii, UConn, and somebody else not good at all.
I think Michigan.
Colorado State,
who's doing horrendous. The whole state of Colorado. Air Force is the best team year in year out in that state,
including the Broncos.
Well-deserved shot there. Yeah, football just wasn't fun for me last week. Yeah.
Did you guys win on Sunday? I can't remember. Did you guys
win? Thank God they're playing the Texans. They wouldn't beat anybody else. Oh my God, 4 delay game penalties in two games. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think Michigan rolls. I think they got a really good offense.
Yeah, at home. Yeah, I think they would win. Yeah, sure.
The 3-0 Indiana Hoosiers. Hate saying that.
2.
Easily could be 1-2. They find themselves 3-0. They travel to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bearcats, who are 2-1. Bearcats are
16.5. I got 16.
I got 17. Well, it's either way, 16.5, 17. Yeah. I'm taking the Bearcats by 20.
I hope it's more than that, but yeah.
I do too. I have a feeling Indiana covers. I think they're confident, but I still think this is a good team.
Is this where the start of IU is 3-0 in September, but they end the year 3-9?
Last year, if you remember when they played Cincinnati, they had like a 14-point lead. McFadden got called for a helmet to helmet and got kicked out, and their season was never the same after that point.
I mean, you look at their schedule. They have their next game after that is at Nebraska, which. I mean, it depends which Nebraska team shows. Is it the team that got up 7-0 on Oklahoma, or is it the team that proceeded to get beat by 500 points against Oklahoma?
It's like, hey, we led that game for about 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Let's be honest. There's no version of Nebraska football this year that's been good. So
no. Yeah, then they have a tough schedule. I mean, they have Maryland at home. They're at Rutgers. But yeah, they've got really 3 to 4 potentially winnable games if you include the Purdue game. That's probably more of a toss-up, but yeah, I hope
it's not a toss-up. I hope we get to that point. Purdue's 2 touchdown favorites.
Minnesota, undefeated, winning the West 3-0, but they haven't really played the greatest competition. They traveled to East Lansing to face a Spartan team that's 2-1 and coming off a loss out in Washington against the Washington Huskies. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite on the road.
I would say Washington was really fun to watch.
Yeah, DeBoer runs good offense.
Yeah, Penix, he was tearing it up.
He was slinging it.
He was slinging it, which was like, thank God he transferred.
I like Sparty in this one.
I think I'm going Minnesota.
I think Minnesota's better, but Michigan State needs this one.
I think I'm picking Minnesota just so the West can get some respect because everybody hates the West, which I don't blame them. When there was that graphic, it was like everybody in the East is undefeated except Michigan State. I was like, all right, let's knock these guys down.
Northwestern's winning the West right now, 1-0
because they beat Nebraska.
They can't beat Southern Illinois, but they can beat Nebraska.
God. Yeah, I'm picking Minnesota.
I think Minnesota.
By 3. I think it's going to be a really good game.
It should be a close one. Iowa and their electric offense, 2-1, heading out to East Piscataway to face the 3-0 Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Iowa's an 8-point favorite.
How? Can they score 8 points?
Yeah, I was going to say, who did they play last week?
Safety? Going 8-0?
Last week they played somebody, and it was like a 8-hour game because of lightning delay. They finished like at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I was watching. I also got a notification. I was like, "Oh, the game's resumed." I was like, "This game started during the Purdue game."
Iowa averaging a cool 13 points a game. They must have scored like 40 last week to get up to 13.
Spencer Petras is horrific. He is awful.
They're allergic to the offense.
But I think Iowa gets it done though.
I don't know anything about Rutgers. Their quarterback's 27 of 40 for 266 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So he's only thrown the ball 40 times in 3 games?
In 3 games, yep.
And I hope is he a backup?
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Iowa just because I don't know.
Well,
Iowa. Yeah.
I mean, Rutgers beat Temple 16-14 last week, so I don't know if their offense is super.
And they were down for a majority of the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa. I'm gonna say they don't cover though. It's like a 10-7 game.
Right in their wheelhouse.
8's a lot. Yeah,
they got a great defense. It's just their offense garbage.
The defense, they're gonna have a defensive touchdown again.
Where's that graphic that shows Charlie Jones's production versus the entire Iowa offense production? I'd like to see that graphic.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, Iowa only has like 400 yards of total offense this year.
This next game is going to be watched by the whole country at 7:30 at night on Big Ten Network. 2 great academic institutions. Football, not so much. 1-2 Miami, Ohio at 1-2 Northwestern. Northwestern is a 7.5-point favorite.
You got me on that one because I was like, oh yeah, he is talking about the Wisconsin Ohio State game. And he said great academic. I was like, aren't they like? I mean, I know Wisconsin's good and Ohio State's pretty good. I was like, are they that good? But then okay.
Ben Roethlisberger's not coming through those doors for Miami, Ohio.
No, but who's coming through the door for Northwestern? Because right now they're not looking good.
You know, and I know Fitzgerald's, their god. He's played there. He's done things and they've got the Rose Bowls, never mind. But he's got the Big Ten championship game. He's done really well. But if they lose this game, you can go 1-3, lose to Southern Illinois, Miami, Ohio, Duke. He's got to be getting a little hot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Northwestern is just such an interesting because, like, it's same like basketball. It's like you have Collins. It's like you got to let him go, but he's also done the one thing that no other coach has ever done in your history of your program, which is get you to the NCAA tournament. And kind of same with football. It's like Fitzgerald. Just like I like Fitzgerald. Aside from his old man down at the clouds takes at certain things. But yeah, I don't know what you do. They're in a tough spot, but I think they cover.
I think they get this one done. I think they get this one done. Southern Illinois is awful. What didn't they lose like Incarnate Word and somebody else, and then they go into Northwestern? That's got to be one of the worst losses in Big Ten history.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
They lost 64-29 to Incarnate Word. They lost
64-20?
29.
It's either way. Oh, my God.
Lost 34-31 to Southeast Missouri State.
Oh, my God, Pat. He should be in the hot seat now.
Oh, God.
Thad Mooney on Facebook says firing Fitz would be like Nebraska firing a coach who wins 9 to 10 games on average. It doesn't work out down the line.
I mean, I think Fitz is definitely a guy who can turn it around. He's proved he can turn it around. But Tanner, as you and our friend Josh said on your other podcast, is Northwestern's going to be in a tough spot with this whole NIL thing, which is kind of surprised me because they've got
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why are they in a tough spot? I mean, in Chicago, I think I know nobody.
Because they just don't have the funding. I just don't think you've got people funneling money like you have to a Nebraska or you would have obviously Ohio State, which is
even Illinois, right in their own state.
Illinois, yeah. Which is crazy because Northwestern has so many if you look it up high profile.
They just don't care about the football.
Yeah, or they just don't care.
And they are Chicago's Big Ten team as they market themselves.
I think Mike Greenberg's from there. I think one of the late night hosts.
Michael Wilbon's from Northwestern.
Yeah. What's one of the late night talk show hosts on? He does the late show.
Type in Northwestern alumni, somebody.
Yeah, there's a ton.
See what we got.
I'm completely blank on his name, but they've got a ton of high profile names. I think would just if you needed to, they would just shovel money towards them, but they don't. But they made towards the academic side, which is kind of what you see. We kind of have the same complaint about Purdue. You've got a lot of, we don't have the rabid athletic fan base as some of these other people. We have plenty of rich alumni, but they're donating to the school as they probably should. But selfishly, I want
quit donating to engineering. No, just kidding. Andrew, who are you picking in this game?
Please
I think Northwestern. I have to think the Big Ten team is gonna figure it out.
We'll see. Then we got 2-1 Wisconsin traveling to 3-0, number 3 in the country. Ohio State is an 18.5-point favorite.
I think Ohio State rolls.
I think they cover that.
Yeah. Who would have guessed that Nebraska or Wisconsin's gonna have 2 losses through 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Not complaining about it, though.
No, not at all.
It's not gonna matter. I mean, still haven't played a West team. They still could go 6-0 in the West or whatever, 5-0.
They could. Well, before we do some top 25 games, let's go pick our one of our least favorite teams here. The 1-2 Notre Dame Fighting Irish travel on the road to face 3-0 North Carolina. North Carolina is a 2-point favorite in this one.
As far as only a 2-point favorite, just because Notre Dame has not looked good.
Carolina puts up a lot of points, but their defense can't stop a nosebleed. So
did you see the video of was it Tommy Reese, our quarterback coach?
Yeah.
Just absolutely lighting him, offensive court, lighting him.
Do your effing job. I thought it was Josh McDaniels for a second.
Yeah.
Notre Dame didn't look good against Cal either.
No, I think North Carolina.
I think they win.
Away.
Before the season, I had Notre Dame going 8-4, and North Carolina was one of the losses I had them losing. So I'm going to stick to my guns there.
Yeah, I think they win by double digits.
You think North Carolina wins by double digits?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying hammer the UNC -1.5?
I'm not saying anything.
Number 17. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't think they win by double digits. I think they win by a touchdown. Yeah.
Number 17 Baylor 2-1 travels to 3-0 Iowa State. Iowa State's a 2.5-point favorite.
Is Matt Campbell going to get a job somewhere?
Nebraska.
Nebraska there.
They probably
has he kind of faded though? I
think he has.
Yeah, he's always come up.
Like 5 years ago, he could have gone like anywhere. It seemed like.
How about David Shaw? Could have went anywhere like 5 years ago, and now he's like on the hot Stanford. He could have went. He could have had any NFL job he wanted. And I like Baylor in this one though.
Yeah, I'm taking Baylor.
Sure, I don't know much about either one of these teams.
Number 5, 3-0 Clemson at number 21, 3-0 Wake Forest. Clemson's a 7-point favorite. I like the Tigers in this one.
Where is this game on my thing? Yeah, I'm going Clemson.
Yeah, I think they cover that.
Does number 1 Georgia cover the 45-point spread at home against Kent State?
Yes, in the first half.
1 and 2 Kent State.
I'm surprised there's even a line for that.
It's gonna be ugly.
I remember watching their first game. Who they play? Oregon.
Yeah, just kill them.
Like I was just like, oh, so they're still really good.
They lost their whole defense. They're still really freaking good. A fun one down here in the state of Texas. 2-1, number 22 Texas travels to 2-1 Texas Tech. Texas is a 7-point favorite.
I'll take the Longhorns in their report of how much they spent when Archie Manning came to town. Where they spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on his recruiting visit.
I'm gonna go guns up here. I'm taking the Red Raiders. Yeah, we haven't picked a whole lot of upsets.
Yep, I'm taking one here.
There you go. I'll ride with you, Tanner.
Here's one Evan's been dying to pick. This is College Game Day. Number 20, 2-1, number 20 Florida at 3-0, number 11 Tennessee. Our favorite fan base out there in Boiler Nation. Tennessee's 10.5-point favorites.
I think Tennessee absolutely annihilates them.
Annihilates them, huh?
Yeah. They are feeling themselves right now.
I think the Vols win, but I think Florida covers. I think the Vols win by a touchdown.
I don't know. They're out for vengeance.
They can stop whining now about the Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
They won't, but they can.
I had my Tennessee friends say that we're now cursed for officials thanks to the Music City Bowl, so we're going to have to live with that curse forever.
Purdue's been cursed since going a long time. Minnesota, the whatever pass interference. Gosh.
Every year we play Minnesota, something funky happens. Who are you taking, Andrew? The Gators or the Vols?
I don't think. I think Tennessee, but I don't think they cover. I think Richardson's good, and they'll keep him in it.
Yep. Should be a fun one.
That place is going to be rocking.
Yeah. 2-1, number 15 Oregon travels to 3-0 Washington State. Oregon's a 7-point favorite.
3-0 Washington State.
I like the Ducks here, though.
Yeah, I like the Ducks.
Give me Washington State.
Ooh, they'll be ranked.
Go Cougs.
Hey, they won at Camp Randall. That's not an easy place to win at.
No.
A really good one here, number 10 Arkansas, 3-0 at 2-1, number 23 Texas A&M, who's coming off a big win over the U last week. Jimbo and the Aggies are 2-point favorites.
Yeah,
I'll take the Aggies. I'll take the Aggies.
Yeah, A&M at home.
I'm going to go Arkansas.
All right, switch it up. I like it. 2-1 Kansas State at number 6, 3-0 Oklahoma, who is a 13-point favorite.
I think Oklahoma covers that.
Yeah, they cover that.
Yeah, I think they're really good. Not a lot of people are talking about them preseason either.
Our Kansas State QB, Adrian Martinez.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Forgot about that. He's still in college.
He is 41 of 66 for 304 yards. And
I thought you were going to say he's 41 years old.
He's thrown one touchdown this season.
Sounds about right. Nothing's changed in 5 years.
Interceptions, yeah.
They've rushed for more. Their running back has rushed for more yards than Martinez has thrown for.
He's really good. Their running back, he might be the best in the country. He's really good. Speaking of Oklahoma, their old ball coach, Lincoln Riley's got his USC Trojans ranked number 7 with a 3-0 record. They traveled to a very underrated Oregon State team.
Just said the spread surprises me.
Oregon State's 3-0, so Corvallis is a tough place to play. USC's only 5.5-point favorites.
Give me the Beavs. Upset.
Ooh. I think USC covers that.
I think USC as well. I think Lincoln Riley's going to make them a power again.
Yeah.
Which is good for college football. I think when USC is good, it's good for college football.
It's nice to have not just the good teams focus in one area of the country. USC, I don't know if that really matters, but nice having a West Coast presence of the dominant team, and even I know our friend Josh is Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Not just get all the talent out of the SEC and get some other schools involved.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking about Stanford earlier with David Shaw. They're 1-1. They travel up to Washington to face the Huskies, who are 3-0 and ranked 18th now.
Give me Washington.
They are 14-point favorites. Yep, give me Washington.
Yep.
And lastly, for the top 25 games, number 13th ranked 2-1 Utah Utes travel to Tempe, face the 1-2 Arizona State Sun Devils, who fired Herm Edwards right on the field last week. It looked like by the Twitter video I saw. President AD came out, and it was really uncomfortable to watch.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
I mean, they had talk with him. I don't know what was said, but it sure looked like.
I did see.
Who did they lose to?
Someone referencing that the coaches were giving plays
somebody to Mac,
to
I believe,
teams.
wasn't it?
Oh, they lost to Eastern Michigan. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there. Basketball and football. God.
It was Andrew's wedding day.
It was.
It was.
The first thing anybody said to me was Josh saying, "Hey, Purdue lost."
Somebody told me when we were standing up during the wedding. I would like to see my face on video. I don't know who it was. Whoever was standing next to me, I don't remember who it was, but
I think Utah rolled.
Yep, give me Utah. They already blew my playoff prediction. I had them in the playoffs. They blew that week 1, so thanks, Utah. And lastly, the Boilermakers hosting the Florida Atlantic Owls. Produced 20-point favorites. Score predictions. Player of the game predictions.
I think Purdue wins, obviously. I'm going 45-21. So we cover the spread. Play the game, AOC. I think he plays a clean game, throws at least for 350, a couple touchdowns, 3 to 4 touchdowns. I think we see, hopefully, the running game have some sort of pulse. And the city defense getting pick 6.
I'm with you. I think Purdue covers. I think it's 40, but I think Purdue's defense plays better, and it's 40-10. I think Purdue kind of dominates. I think it's a pretty easy second half, and that. Let's see. I think I want TJ Sheffield to have a big game. I want another wide receiver to come up big. I don't know if I'll pick him the player of the game. Probably Charlie Jones or something, but I'd like to see TJ
I want
Sheffield.
Purdue to win largely enough that a lot of people leave early, so that when I leave at the end of the game, it doesn't take me 4 hours to get out of West Lafayette like it did for the Penn State game, because that was miserable.
It's homecoming. People are going to be going to Harry's, and isn't Cactus opening this weekend?
Saturday morning,
7 a.m.
There you go.
See you there.
Maybe they'll leave. There you go. Purdue will be up 3 touchdowns. Everybody will leave.
I wouldn't make the game if I did that.
9:00.
No way.
Can you imagine that line on Saturday morning? You might as well line up at midnight.
You might as well line up at Triple X.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is back.
There you go.
Bruce is back. Yeah.
Bruce is back.
The line's probably already starting.
Yep. Camp out. I'm going a similar score to you, Andrew. I'm going 40-17 Boilers. I'm going to go Deion Burks. Player of the game.
My friend Adam Bartels gives a prediction 42-10.
Yeah, we're all kind of right around there. So, nice, easy win. That's what I want to say. Kind of like Indiana State, get out healthy and get ready to row the boats up to Minnesota next week.
October is a gauntlet.
3 out of 4 on the road. Yeah, it's the make it or break it month.
Also, when we give a shout out to Full Steam Ahead, give them a plug. He just had a new episode drop with Jeff McKean with the Boilermaker Alliance. So, in terms of Purdue NIL, haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but it's definitely worth checking out to kind of get an insight to what Purdue is doing in the NIL world, because they're definitely trying to make some noise in that area.
Well, speaking of NIL, you can support some Purdue athletes by getting some of their merchandise on the shop.
Absolutely. We're happy to have the shop back again as a sponsor for the Boiler Breakdown. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up my read here, and I just completely lost it. But the shop's been making t-shirts since 2011. Started kind of, kind of just in a garage making t-shirts. Now they've got, 2 brick and mortar stores, one in Broad Ripple and then one in Carmel. You can obviously go in person. They have kind of a deal going on for Purdue homecoming this year, 30% off all Purdue apparel. They came out with a couple new t-shirts, came out with new Purdue hats. But if you aren't able to make it to Indy, you can go online at theshopindy.com and make sure you use promo code breakdown for 25% off your order. So they've got a 30% discount going on right now. But if you listen to this, it's only going until Friday. So if you're listening to this, we're recording this on Thursday and you're listening to this on Friday, this is your last day to do it. But if you don't listen to it until Saturday, use our promo code breakdown and get 25% off. Happy to have them on board. Purdue run it, but they've also got other stuff if you're not looking for Purdue apparel.
They should mark off Colts merchandise.
24-0 against the Jaguars.
Against a team that you talked about all off season.
Yeah.
This was worse than week 17.
Because that was kind of they were supposed to, all they had to do was beat them and they were in the playoffs last year, wasn't it? I forgot about that.
Yeah, week 18.
I wouldn't know the playoffs are as a Bears fan.
I forget as a Broncos fan. It's been a while. Last time it ended gloriously, but it's been a while. A lot of quarterbacks since. So,
right, let's ride.
Oh, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it already.
Maybe Russell needs to keep practicing his high fives on the field too.
Yep. Just get the plays in on time, please, for the love of God. Make up your mind if you're going to kick a field goal or go for it, like, multiple times.
That video of Peyton Manning was cracking.
Oh,
he was just like, you could tell, like, he was trying so hard not to just lose his ever-loving mind.
I think they're going to kick it, Shannon. Kick what? Oh, that was classic TV. I like the Manning cast. I wish they would not interview so many people, even though a lot of the guests are good. But
yeah,
it is nice. It is nice. So, any final thoughts?
Purdue basketball schedules came out, TV and broadcast times. A couple of interesting things. Obviously, we've got January 2nd, which is a Monday, so it's a day after New Year's Day, so it's kind of an observed holiday. We have a noon game against Rutgers, and then a couple weeks later, Martin Luther King Day on Monday. We have a 2:30 game at Michigan State, so kind of similar to our noon game at Illinois last year.
Maybe their students won't be back.
It's probably like the week they get back, probably. Knowing them, they'll figure out.
Because Illinois did not have their students back last year, right?
Correct. I don't remember, actually.
Even if they did, they weren't in class. So.
Right, yeah. I think they were back. And a weird one, has Fox had night basketball games before? Like Fox, not Fox Sports 1, but like...
I don't recall, but I think it's probably going to become a new part of next year's deal. So they're probably doing that a year early.
We've got a couple. Obviously, the notable one was a home game against Indiana on a Saturday. It's a late start for a Saturday. Usually used to 2 p.m., 1 p.m. tips. This is like in the evening, so Mac will be rocking for that one.
Yep. A lot of 2 CBS games I see. So a lot of good televised games. A lot to be announced too in November with the
market games at 8 o'clock. We play Milwaukee at 9 p.m. or something.
New Orleans at 9 p.m.
New Orleans, that's what it was. Yeah, New Orleans at 9.
Random.
Mortenberg say we couldn't get lights at Route 60 when people driving home at 11 o'clock at night. What the hell are we doing? Basketball. R.I.P.
Yes, that is very well said. So, any final thoughts, Andrew?
Nope. Just need a get right game and take out some frustrations, hopefully.
Yep. Let's.
I'd like to see over/under, or I guess what number of penalties would you be happy with? Because we'll get some, but what are you looking for? To be like, okay, I think we've
under 5. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. 5 or 6.
I'll say over/under 4.5. I take the under. I'm really
don't get a single unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't have it. Can't do it. Can't do it. So. Well, let's boil it up, hammer down, and prove that these owls are not nocturnal.